everyone. This is the series about how does it feel human design traits and characteristics. And in this episode, I'm talking to you about an undefined solar plexus. This is the last energy function that is undefined in my chart. And so if you remember what this series is about, has to do with not necessarily explaining the energetic centers and the gates and the channels, but rather how does those manifest in a particular life, in this case mine, because it's what I have access to, so that you can compare with your experience, and be invited to reflect on your own, how these centers, gates, and channels manifest in your own life in a more like tangible way, right? So this is the last, as I said, of my undefined energetic functions. And after this one, we're gonna go into the defined centers that I have, so that you can compare with yours. So, okay, let's go right in. An undefined solar plexus, as I experience it, it's tied to all of my empath friends. All of my empath friends, we have an undefined solar plexus. So what does it mean? What that means in my experience, and again, these are things that I wish I would have known before being in society and having difficulties. Is that with an undefined solar plexus, you're going to take in the energies of your environment, of the people that are around you. You're going to pick up on that energy. And if you don't have awareness of that capacity that you have, or if you have lost touch with yourself, you might think that you're anxious and you don't know why when you're picking up someone else's anxiety. So really what it's all about here for me, it's boundaries. Boundaries. And boundaries, I mean, of course, like saying no to things, or saying yes for now, like things more, I guess, verbally expressed. But I also mean energetic boundaries, like literally. When I feel overwhelmed, so this is the thing. If you are going in an environment that has heightened emotions, you might feel overwhelmed because you're picking up on all of that. And that is a gift, right? That's a gift. You have it's like feel about water kind of quality, right? You are picking up on the climate, like emotional climate of a room of people, right? Or someone else. So it is a gift because you are allowed to see that, and to not just see it, to feel it within you, right? So it is a gift. And if you feel completely overwhelmed by those emotions that are not necessarily yours, it's very important to have energetic boundaries. And so a practice that I do constantly, since I have been learning about this, of course, not too long ago, but is that I imagine myself inside a dome, usually pink. It's translucent, so it's like transparent, so you're not making yourself invisible or separating from others, but you are inside your little capsule. It's a dome that make sure it is closed also from the bottom, right? In my case, it's pink because I'm like conserving my love energy. And I imagine that I'm inside that dome, observing other people's emotions with compassion and with care, but that is not penetrating completely my etheric body somehow. That has helped me a lot, especially when the emotions that I'm next to trigger me or scare me, right? So if you had a childhood where anger was unsafe to be expressed, and you get close to someone that is experimenting anger, it's going to be scary. And you would like to, or you would tend to kind of appease the person so that you don't have to deal with that, which is not necessarily the healthiest way if you don't let other people express their emotions. So rather you can, insert yourself into this protective kind of dome, energetic dome, where you're able to observe from like a safer place. That's one thing I do a lot. The other thing I do a lot is literally the solar plexus, right? So when I feel like some weird energy is like coming, and it really feels to me like it's coming from up, and it feels really scary, what I do is I place my hands on my solar plexus. So like I literally covering, sometimes I do like this, sometimes like this, but I'm like um boundary of this energy coming in, and I am protecting my solar plexus in that way. Oh my God, I have done that in Uber rides where like the person driving is having this super weird, scary energy, and I'm like, you know, and like I can be discreet, like you wouldn't tell that I'm like covering my solar plexus. But that's something that also has helped me. I do know that, for example, in different belief systems and cultures of healing, people use a red belt around their solar plexus to protect. So I have tried that too, and you cannot see it, so it's like nice in that sense. I mean, if you put it under your clothes, I guess. Or I have also placed a black tourmaline on my belly button with like, something for your skin that is like soft, that is like allows you to stick the stone but doesn't hurt your skin. If I'm going into a place that I know is gonna be a lot of negative, especially emotions, right? So you find your flavor of these tricks. Obviously, if you're like more, I don't know, practical, just say no, right? Or say I have to step out. But if you want to go more energetic, witchy type, you can use these things that I'm telling you about. And again, just understand that this is a gift, that you are able to tune into these other people's emotions. And also, this is not entirely, because, like sometimes in our culture, it's very individualistic, and this maybe reinforces that, oh, that's there and not mine. Just remember that there's always a connection, right? So maybe you have the anger that you're feeling is not yours, but what you were experimenting as a reaction to that anger, or to that fear, or to that happiness, even, that's you. That's definitely you. So this is also a self-knowledge tool. And so do take responsibility for your reactions to people's feelings, because again, it's not like, oh, this is not mine, I have nothing to do with this. No, because everything you're experiencing as a response to and a reaction to other people's emotions that you're taking in, that's your part, right? So very interesting and important to just look at that in yourself, right? The other aspect of this undefined solar plexus is a call for you to express your needs when your authority it's and your strategy are telling you to do so. So again, like if you're not aware of this happening to you, what you would happen to you is that you go into a social setting or even in one-on-one connections, and you're gonna feel all these feelings, and you don't know what's going on, where is this coming from, what's happening, right? And in that confusion, you might decide not to express your needs, right? And I think that is something that is related to boundaries, but we really have to practice. So, as an example, I have struggled with mental health issues, anxiety, depression. So I'm not saying this is not something that I have experienced, but as an empath slash undefined solar plexus person, I it was hard for me to recognize that if I hang out too much with someone that is very negative or like very depressed, as I have been, again, I have been that person. So it gave me an insight of what I cause to other people. When I'm too like 24/7 with that kind of a person that is in that, like a person that is in that kind of state of mind, I get affected. I get affected. And so, what are the options that you have? Maybe space out your encounters with that person. For that, you need awareness of how that person makes you feel. And again, what are your responses to that? Because I definitely have tried to fix them by not, cheer them up or whatever, when this is not my responsibility, not having been asked to do that, right? So you can like space out your encounters with them, or you can voice your needs, which is the hardest, I think, for me personally. For example, like if this is a very close friend, the invitation would be to say, look, I understand that you're having a really hard time, and I don't want to change you. I don't want to fix you. I just want you to know that because I have struggled with depression and anxiety, this kind of states of mind near me affect me because I work every day really hard to pull myself out of those states. So having that energy in you constantly, it really is difficult. So you're just saying something is happening, right? Like you're really being really open on this is what's going on right now, right? And see what if that is a need. So you would be like, so I need to take a little bit of space, or or just like at least expressing what's going on. And because we tend as empaths to deal with all of these things on our own, right? Like we're just like completely maybe shut down, and we don't even give the opportunity to others to know what's going on with us even. So and just to say that these practices, these boundaries have helped me to be way more compassionate and open to other people's in any state that they are. So a previous version of me, for example, would have had trouble with some friends or people that are close to me that struggle a lot. And at this point, I am able to see and separate myself from that in a way that allows me to be with them, support them, and give them space, as something that I wasn't so able to do before I started to come into awareness of all of these things. So when I feel like there's some hectic energy, like anxious energy around me, the first thing I ask is like, how what I am I okay? Like I did I come here feeling anxious or not, right? If the answer is yes, then okay, so I'm picking up your anxiety and my anxiety is already here. But if like no, I was really really chill, I was really good. So okay, so that means that I can put on my dome protection and just be with you if you're anxious, right? Like just hold space for you, be a presence, a supportive, caring presence for you, because I have done this discernment of energies, right? So it gets better. That's what I'm saying. So the shadow expression of this undefined solar plexus can be you avoiding confrontation at all costs because you don't want people's emotions to go against you somehow. So failing to establish your boundaries could be a shadow side of this. And the other possibility also is, oh my God, and I have been like this for decades. It's really tough to come to awareness of this. But the other shadow side of this is to be reactive as F about people's emotions because you haven't gone through this process of pause, observe, check in, So because I have a lot of trauma, I'm a super reactive person, right? But with time, now I can see my reactivity before it jumps out of me, right? And so as I was telling you, if someone is having a hard time and you get triggered, you get reactive to their sadness and jumping desperately and anxiously to try to fix them, help them, give them solutions. Let me just stop you being sad. That is a reaction. That it is absolutely coming from you. The person is having their life there, right? And so it really is some shadow stuff here, I can tell you. And again, like I think the key is to pause, breathe. Okay, what's going on? Am I triggered? Why? What this reminds me of? What is the feeling, the reactive feeling that comes up as a response to this? Like it's a lot of like pause, reassess. And if you feel like, okay, so I want to react and this and that, but like at the end of the day, it's true that I need a boundary, you say it, right? But it takes all of this process to slow down and not react. And so, yeah, it's just sad because the experience of me being an undefined solar plexus has been of a very reactive person, very emotional, volatile, which I'm less and less of. Not to say that there's anything wrong with that. I feel all the emotions every day, but like again, how you react, it depends on you, right? So like respond versus react kind of thing. Okay. So the highest expression of this, it's really the gift of seeing what's going on and speaking truth. Like if you turn, like you are in a group and people are really angry and you perceive that easily, but no one is saying I'm angry, or like no one is saying there's something wrong here. You would be the one who can, if you want, if that's something that calls you, you could be the one who say, okay, let's just say that everyone is tense here. Can we just address that, right? Like, can we just please talk about this that's happening right now? So you have the kind of like a truth telling gift, right? And then well, as I said, the capacity to see someone else's emotion, that is a gift. It attunes you to their needs. It gives you compassion. It's just like precious, right? So we do have a highest expression if we work on it. And I guess the last thing would be just reflecting on what happens when you don't speak. And it's interesting, right? Because the last episode was about an undefined throat, who invites you to think that, or consider that silence might be the case for you, like that you should not be talk all the time. And this one here is asking you, should you be talking? So, like what is it? Then what do I do, right? With these two centers undefined, these energy centers, it's discernment, self-knowledge, meditation, prayer, right? It's you will find a lot of contradictions within yourself. That's what makes us human in a way. And so you need to be on the lookout for when and where and why, right? So in opposition to last episode, this is asking you to think, should I speak up now about this boundary or about this truth that I'm seeing right now? That gets juicy. Okay, that is I think the episode for today, a little bit longer. If you have a defined solar plexus and you want to share your experience, please let me know. Put the comments or email me. On the email is on my channel here. That's it. I'll see you next one. Bye.